Hello YouTube, this is Mike Beard. I'm back again with another video, and I want to talk to you today about the Godfather Effect. So I found Kevin Samuels by accident after listening to a program by the name of Neika Marie's Dope Discussions, and shortly after I listened to one of her videos, then his video popped up on my timeline, and I saw his content along with hers, and I was hooked on both. And so it's been about a year and a half, maybe. Uh, and so, let's see, I'm about a year and a half older than Kevin. So the cultural references he makes and the things he talks about with movies and hip hop music, regular music, clothes, and how it was to live in the 80s and 90s, they're spot on. No questions asked. He's true to the references and his sense of humor and how he drops things. They're right on top par with people of our generation. Kevin has done some of the similar things in his life to what I've done, or should I say that I've done similar things to him. He's an martial artist. I'm a boxer. He was a drum major in the band and a trumpeter. I'm a music multi instrumentalist, and one of the instruments I'm picking up currently is actually the trumpet. You know, Kevin is college educated, and so am I. He was raised Baptist, and so was I. He was baptized at the age of 5, and I was baptized at the age of 6. So, by me being older than him, we were basically baptized in the same year. Um, we were raised with the same values and have the same understanding and perspective on life. The differences between us are simple. Um, the brother is a paid Southern raised black man. I'm what you would call an average guy or somebody that's in a hit squad. Um, and I'm actually from the Southwest. I'm from New Mexico. But because we grew up during the same time frame, our values and understanding of life and culture in America are the same. As a high value man, he moves in circles that I've never traveled in. And if I have been around him, I've only seen it from afar. Kevin Samuels tells men to get their life together with your fitness, your finances, and being on your purpose to become a high value man. Um, I began to work out for the first time in forever, and I started to redo my goals and focus on my purpose and gather knowledge and skills and abilities to reach my goals. Because of Kevin, I started my fitness program, and I started back to school to pursue my passion for music, and I'm currently reaching some goals in regards to that. I began to dream again after being in the rut of life. You know, being a middle-aged man, working a job. Um, Sometimes you could just be moving from day to day and living from week to week, month to month, paycheck to paycheck, and going from there. But I started working more overtime on my job, and now I'm part of the middle class, and I've been over 50,000 for the last 2 years, and a lot of it has to do with the expectations that he sets. Kevin's views on marriage and submission are biblically sound. He hits home with women by holding them accountable. His focus on fitness, femininity, cooperation is exact. Men want that uh, so much so that when you look at the story of Esther and the Medes and Persians, they made a law throughout their entire kingdom that after Vashti didn't go to the king, that they would have submission in all their houses, no matter how great or small. So I've lost some weight, and I'm keeping myself groomed and keep myself smelling nice. I binge watch his content because it hits home to me and because it helps me be accountable and pursue uh, making six figures one day. My awareness about my sexual market value, or SMV, in the mid 50s is empowering. As I said before, as someone who wasn't really dreaming, and then you start hearing this information coming from the Black Father, Godfather, as in Kevin Samuels, and then also like with Rollo Tomasi, the White Godfather, and Coach Greg Adams, and people like that. When they start talking about the things that you have, you know, it puts you in the class. I'm 6'3" and 7/8, basically 6'4", so that puts me in the top 1%. Um, I'm making over $50,000 a year, which will now put me in the top 51%. I'm a college educated man. That puts me in the top 40% of all black men. And I can relate to the concept of the hit squad. I can see moving towards the Henry status, which Kevin decries or marks as high earner, not rich yet. And it's had a real positive effect on me. One of the things I started looking at was pursuing another degree, and if I was to finish and complete this degree, the starting salary for that degree is 111,000, and so right there, um, by his standards, if I worked it for 3 years, close to 5 years, that in and of itself would make me a high value man according to Kevin's Big Six. Uh, Kevin is in the top of the trends in business and media, and is encouraging men to create black male media and control the narrative and control our cultural image. So that's one of the things that you see me doing by today. Sure, I have suits and have always had suits and have always been dressed appropriately, but it's one of the things where if I was going to come on here talking about The Godfather, I want you to see literally that it's enough, not enough just for me to talk about it, but I needed to be spruced and I needed to be looking my best and pursuing toward my best. I've had a YouTube channel for maybe 2 years or so. I had a limited amount of content on there, but currently, I'm really taking to heart what he talks about, what Obsidian and even O'Shea Duke Jackson talk about in the manosphere and in the black manosphere. Having somebody to put out content and be relevant and control the image. So I'm doing everything I can to support those guys. We're watching their content, and I'm commenting on their information, and I'm interacting with them however I can. And you know, um, some things I'm doing are just traditional values, and you might be confused because you look at my page, you're going to see music, and if you look again, you're going to see relationship talk, and then maybe down the line you'll see some comedy or some acting skits or something like that. But all of it will be toward self improvement. All of it will be toward educational or something that's enhancing the population and the culture, and definitely bridging the gap between men and women. So um, I've moved more toward my purpose and coming on out of this lockdown. I've just moved full speed ahead and tried to take this seriously. And I can tell you that I I don't mind listening to someone who's younger than me that's made it and done some things that I haven't done. And when I get the chance, you know, if everything goes the way according to plan, maybe we'll meet in the future and have some interactions or business dealings. But regardless of whether I meet him or not or talk to him or not, the thing about it is, him being a hot topic right now is just because he's stating the truth and the facts. And um, I identify with it because of our age group. I identify with it because of our religious background. I identify with it because that's how I've lived my life, and those are the perceptions that I have. And so, as things go forward, and as he keeps elevating, he's going to reach out and continue to bring people with him or talk to other people. Because one of the focuses that he has is that he wants to be useful to the group and others. And I think one of the great things I saw him do recently was when he shouted out Obsidian on the Tasha K program, and then I followed up and listened to Obsidian talk about uh, that he and Kevin went back so far, and that Obsidian took Kevin's advice and did some things that Kevin had tried to share with some other people that were actually ahead of Obsidian, and that they didn't do. So, Obsidian is a witness to the effect of the Godfather. The Ice and Fresh and Fit are all a part of that. Media tutorials and reviews, and Poor Man's Podcast. You can go on down the list. I am observing and absorbing the content. Chantel Simone, 60 Goddess, you name them. They're all doing their thing, and I'm watching them all and cheering them all, and I'm behind them, rooting for them, and encouraging and sharing their information the best I can. But I just thought I'd stop by and tell you that the Kevin Samuels effect is real. It got me from sitting around doing nothing to pursuing my purpose, pursuing my dreams, and working on becoming the best man I can. And maybe when you see me in the future, you'll see some changes and you'll see some updates and you'll see my progress and where I'm going. And who knows, maybe one day you'll see me working with some of these people. But either way, I support all of the people in the manosphere, all the men and women in the black manosphere. And like it or not, KS is here to stay, and there's going to be plenty of supporters. Shout out to Thon Lexy and Rules Amon.